Bushwick Public Library branch in Brooklyn, New York. Michael Merconi walks up the library steps and enters the building. Michael waves to the librarian at the circulation desk and walks over to the security desk where a man in a blue regulation police officer uniform is standing. Officer Lopez, a Hispanic male approximately 45 years old with olive complexion and a shaved bald head with a goatee, wearing glasses, smiles when he recognizes Merconi. "Hi, Michael. It's great to see you. When'd you get back?" "I got back a couple of weeks ago." "I'm glad to see that you're alive. Are you still being followed?" "I can't even take a dump in the toilet without them hearing it hit the water in the bowl." "Are you here to get on the computer to use the internet?" "The last time I was in New York, my computer was hacked into and someone crashed my computer modem 3 times. "Yeah, I remember. That's how we met. How's the watch doing?" "You mean the watch I took from one of the muggers, Lopez?" "Yeah, do you still have it?" Merconi rolls up his sleeves and shows Officer Lopez the watch. "It works as good as a Timex. It takes a licking and it keeps on ticking." "You mean the watch I took from one of the muggers, Lopez?" "Yeah, do you still have it?" Merconi rolls up his sleeves and shows Officer Lopez the watch. "It works as good as a Timex. It takes a licking, but it keeps on ticking." "Wasn't that the first day you noticed you being followed by helicopters?" "Yeah, that's right, Lopez, it was. Do you remember when I showed you the book I bought that was going to be used as a journal and I was going to keep a record of everything?" Come to think of it, matter of fact, I do." "Well, since this all began in May of 2008, I have kept a record of all the helicopter surveillance. Would you like to know how many times I've been watched by helicopters?" "Yes, absolutely. I'm curious to hear the number of actual sightings." Merconi goes into his coat pocket and pulls out the journal. He opens the book and searches for the page that has the number total for all the helicopter sightings. "I kept a daily record for each month, starting in May and ending in December. I'm going to give you the totals for each month." "Okay." Beginning in May, there were 3. In June, there were 5. In July, there was 1. But I was followed 10 times that I know of. In August, there was 1. But again, I was followed at least a dozen times in August. In September, there were 12 sightings. In October, there were 13. In November, there were 11. And in December, there were 16. Wow, that's amazing. In total, there has been 61 helicopter sightings, and I have been followed at least 21 times. I even have photos of them to prove it. I'd love to see the photos. All you have to do is go to YouTube and search the title, The Merconi Show, and you can watch the video. "I'm going to do that, Michael. Good for you. I'm glad you got it out there. People will start to believe you. They won't think you're a nutcase who is paranoid and telling everyone that he's being followed, like in the Mel Gibson movie The Conspiracy Theory." "When this all began in May, I tried to tell my mother about it. My mother thought I was going crazy. She asked me if I was taking drugs. It's hard to believe that something like this could be happening in America. My mother then suggested I go to confession and talk to her priest. I told her the only way I'd go to confession is if I could confess for the people who were trying to hurt me. She called me an atheist. I corrected her and told her I was a realist." I finally got around to listening to your radio interview." "Well, I hoped you enjoyed it, Lopez." "It was very interesting. Did you ever get to Mount Shasta to look for the hidden underground tunnel?" "That's a long story, Lopez." "I'd love to hear it." "Okay, then. Well, let's start at the beginning. Here's where my story begins.